The first thing we saw was, the sign, and it was kind of like a beacon, you saw it and oh, Kaw Prairie, that's cool. You saw the building going up, you saw that kind of thing, and we were like, well, I wonder when it's opening so we can attend, because we were looking for a new home.
I was really impressed by how friendly everyone was. You don't find that at a lot of churches. Sometimes you go in, even if it's a small church and nobody talks to you, but at Kaw Prairie we were greeted at the door and ushered in, and I have a little brother, so they immediately took us over to Jam to get us signed up for that, and we weren't expecting it to be that friendly and that open.
I had been looking for a church that had a good youth group for Margaret and Sarah to get involved in, and we went to youth group that night and they had a ball, and the next week they were like, we are going tomorrow, aren't we? And so we've been coming ever since.
One of the great things about it is that there's just so many kids that are on fire for God and they're just coming to Wild, every week. One of the reasons I started going to Wild was because someone invited me. Just our first Sunday, they were like, "Hey, you should come to Wild tonight." And what's that? And they're like, "Well, it's our youth thing, and there's music and it's fun." And so I came, and I just felt really welcomed, and I really enjoyed it.
I grew up atheist, and it wasn't until high school that I started feeling like maybe I was a seeker, that maybe there was something more to the world than just me. So I went to a church up in Lawrence, and it was a friendly church. It was casual on the outside, but it wasn't serious on the inside. So there was a hiatus there for a while where I stopped going to church. My father had found Kaw Prairie, and this was back at St. James Academy. And I thought, oh man, a church in a high school. This is going to be interesting. But they were just so welcoming and warm.
Wow. God's Spirit certainly is at work at Kaw Prairie. It seems like just yesterday we were back at St. James, dreaming of what having our own facility would mean for our ministries and mission. And now, here we are, in one of the most smartly designed and cost-effectively built churches I've ever seen.
It can be a long journey for a mission congregation to get into its first building, but God removed many of the usual obstacles for Kaw Prairie. He provided us with 18 acres of land and an amazing, highly visible intersection in a growing part of Johnson County. He put us next to a commercial developer who cooperated with us to build even more value into our property. And of course, he gave us 4 years of fruitful ministry at St. James Academy, just down the street.
But even more importantly, the families of Kaw Prairie, seeing God's bold moves on our behalf, responded just as boldly, pledging $1.4 million to help make this ministry center a reality. And ever since we opened our doors to the public in May, we've been able to make an impact for our community, for Christ, like never before.
But it seems to be just drawing a lot of people, and I like the fact that there's such a wide generational group of people. They're everything from really young families to people who are closer in range to where I am, I guess, and beyond.
And we've started bringing all of our friends here, so we have to get to church early just to reserve an entire row so we can all sit together now. So it's good. It's a place that we're happy to bring people, even people who aren't necessarily Christians and who are afraid of going to church. I know one of his friends came and he said, I don't like churches. That was the first thing he told us when he got here. I don't like going to church because the people are not nice. But as soon as church got out, he was like, so are we coming next week?
Yeah, I work several days a week during the day up at the coffee shop, and I've just been amazed at the influx of people. Some church, some unchurched, some people coming to Kaw Prairie for the first time, and I'll get questions like, is this the right place? My friends told me to meet here. We're going to have a play date. It's the right place.
Not only is Kaw Prairie growing numerically, but our worshipers are growing spiritually as well, both in their relationships with Christ and in service to each other.
The way that we learn about this stuff helps a lot because we get to see like pictures or videos and stuff, and I'm very visual. If I don't see it, it doesn't really click.
I did not crack my Bible open, much less maybe on a Sunday before I came here, and shoot, now I do it a couple, almost every day. And that's a big change, and I attribute it to Kaw Prairie.
The biggest thing for us, I think, when we talked about this, is that it drew us out of complacency. We had become lukewarm and real mellow, kind of just day-to-day going with the flow, and the depth of the Sundays alone even just drew us out of complacency, and it re-sparked our faith and love for Christ and to go out and spread the word.
Once you've passed that seeker phase, if you pass it, if not, just come on Sunday, you'll be enriched. It's always an inspiration. But if you want to delve deeper, there's small groups, there's volunteering, there are so many programs that you can get involved in